it's nice to see where you are now, Pastor Ken. Siguro you can tell us more about you and your professional experience, how you got this far, Pastor. Briefly introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much po, Ma'am Neil. It's a very humbling experience actually, yung journey. Like a lot of steps I needed to take were really super duper challenging. Kung anong pwedeng dagdag dati adjective dyan. Kasi I've always desired to work on my own free time ba. Parang yun yung desire ko talaga. Because I actually started after graduating from Bible school. I continued my bachelor's degree in secondary education and experienced working in a public school. And I actually worked as an instructor in our university sa Bicol, where I graduated for a year. And it was really a nice experience working with the academic people ba. But one thing that actually caught my attention is the idea that there are these people who are actually, etong nagpa-interest sa akin. There are these people working with students like outside of the country, particularly Chinese and other Asians. So, it started there like, wow, may mga teachers, online teachers pala, pwede pala to. And parang I've always desired, it's in my bucket list go to visit actually other countries. So it's actually my desire to work outside of the country before. And, enhancing my knowledge about other culture. And yan talaga yung nagpa-ignite sa interest ko. So, after working for a year, talagang I took the risk. I left my job as a university instructor and then applied sa Davao, from Bicol to Davao. From Bicol to Davao, nag-apply ako ng online teaching job. And it was an office-based job. Pero talagang smooth yung naging process pa. Nasa Bicol pa lang ako, nag-a-apply na ako. And parang okay I mean, I trusted the process. And then, I went to Davao, applied, and nakuha nga ako. And I worked for 6 months doon sa company na yon. But it was a challenge because umabot sa puntong may kaso-kaso sa dole. Yes, hanggang nag-extend siya talaga ng more than a year bago na-settle yung issue. So, nag-work ako doon. And then, 6 months akong walang work, jobless ako. I was really stressed. I was really depressed. And then, after that, decided to get married. And then, long story short, from that time on, 2016, nag-last ng 7 years ang pagiging online teacher ko hanggang bumalik ako sa Bicol ulit. And then, after 3 years akong nag-handle ng school and ng church sa Mampiraw, sa Bicol. And then after 3 years, napag-handle ko doon, balik ulit sa freelancing. And so, yun yung journey ko.
Back and forth.
Yes po. Yun po talaga. So, yun yung naging parang experience ko in relation to freelancing or online job.
Can you share with us, ano bang ginagawa mo ngayon, Pastor? What do you do?
Currently, I have 2 clients, pero yung full-time ko talaga, yung 8 hours ko, dyan talaga ako nakafocus. Yung isa ko kasing client is like on-call ba? So, pag may ipagawang as needed. So, pag may ipagawang files or Excel research, yon gagawin ko siya during my free time. But my full-time job is actually in the real estate industry, particularly in Maryland. Anong state pa yon? Maryland, Virginia, yan yung mga states. Sa Washington, yan yung state na kung saan nagbi-business yung realtor ko, yung client ko. And my title in the company is the TBM. So I'm the database manager. So I basically handle database of leads, kumbaga. So, kumbaga, generally speaking, I need to make sure that the records tsaka yung pag-follow up sa mga leads dapat monitored and ma-remind yung mga agents, eto si so-and-so, hindi pa na-follow up, 3 months na. Baka bumili na ng bahay sa ibang agent, ganon.
That's nice. And, Pastor, because you said no na nag-start ka talaga as a teacher, then naging
Yes.
ESL, and then now business data manager.
Manage.
Like, how did you develop and enhance your skills? Paano ka napunta dito? Ano-anong mga paraan ang ginawa mo para ma-improve yung sarili mo at matuto ka dito sa task na ginagawa mo ngayon?
Honestly, it's not something na talagang yung dinaanan ko ng proper training, except for the fact na pagkapasok ko sa mga positions ko, saka pa lang ako tinitrain. So maybe it's a different story. Maybe it varies as compared to other VAs or freelancers. But in my case kasi, I think it was just yung online ESL ako. I was trained nung nag-work na rin ako. So I was able to enhance my skills in online teaching, particularly with Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, and then later on with Jews, with Israelis. Doon ako nag-enjoy
Yes.
talaga. Nung na-handle ko, nag-work ako for a Jewish company, online English or ESL company rather, for like almost a year din yon.
And you're teaching Jewish or Chinese pa rin?
Yeah.
Jewish lang ang company?
Yeah. Talagang Jewish lang na mga students. Professionals, adults, the oldest student I had was like 63 years old. And the youngest was mga teenager, mga 16, 17. So in terms of skills, it's more on experience talaga, not necessarily that I took actual training, so to speak. But the good thing is talagang nakapasok ako dun sa mga companies or mga clients na talagang nag-provide din sila ng training. I mean, I don't think everyone experiences that in the freelancing industry.
Yeah.
But I thank God. I think it's a big blessing for me na ganun yung naging setup sa akin.
Yeah. Oo. Some companies, they really provide trainings, pero there are a lot also, mga usually entrepreneurs, mga individual, like one-person business, yun sila yung parang look for this, look for that, parang utos lang, tas ikaw na maghanap ng paraan. So that's really good. Ayan. May mga challenges ka ba, Pastor, na experience as a virtual assistant?
Oh yeah.
Overcome?
Aside from the fact na dun sa pagiging ESL teacher ko, one of the challenges I had to endure. I mean, you cannot really avoid difficult clients. That's one. So there are clients na talagang ititest yung patience mo, ititest yung skills mo, ititest yung pagiging independent mo, ititest yung mental capacity mo, oh my goodness, tsaka yung emotional capacity mo. Given the fact that freelancing is really unstable, okay lang kung nasa government ka. I mean, your position, hindi basta-basta mawawala yan hanggat sa walang administrative
change
or administrative case or legalities na binangga mo. I mean, you have that position as long as you want, as long as you take care of it. Pero sa freelancing, even if you did your best, you will always have this possibility of being kicked out or fired anytime. So, yan yung isa sa mga mental challenge na kailangan kong i-endure, just like other freelancers. Yung idea na, as a believer, as a Christian, bahala ka God. I mean, I'll just do my best, then it's up to you. Pero before that, it was really a challenge na ako anytime soon, pwedeng alisin ako or pwedeng tanggalin ako. So that's one thing. And another thing is, I mean, the adjustment in terms of tulog. I mean, that's one thing. Kasi,
morning na ang tulog mo.
Morning na. It was really difficult for me the first time. Lalo nung wala na ako sa ESL. Kasi yung ESL ko, halos yung China kasi almost same time lang sa Philippines.
Yes.
Tapos yung Israeli-based company ako, 5 hours lang yung gap. So, medyo hindi ganun ka talagang late na. Usually, yung work ko nag-end ng 1 a.m. Ganyan. Okay lang. Nung virtual assistant na ako, US-based, talagang totally baliktad yung oras. So, it was really a challenging thing for me. Kasi takaw tulog ako. Tulog man tira ako. I was known in the Bible school na tulog mantika. Talagang kung kailangan kong matulog, talagang matutulog ko. So it was a big challenge for me in terms of health. And finally, marami pa akong naisip, pero one last thing perhaps na talagang makonsider kong challenge is yung challenge in balancing things out as a freelancer, as an employee, and as a worker ba, as a pastor. There's an advantage actually kasi yung nga iba yung oras natin, so it's easier siguro for us to adjust the time. But when my previous client asked me to work on Sundays, that was something na talagang sabi ko, pag ni-request ko siguro na hindi ako mag-work ng Sunday, baka ground ba, isa sa mga grounds. So, natanggalin ako or what. So, that's one thing. But with God's blessing, hindi naman yun nangyari. Hindi yan yung naging cause ng pag-alis ko sa previous company or client ko. But yeah, it was something that I really thought of for like some time then.
We're already talking about mental, emotional, and stress challenges, no? So, wag na tayong lumayo. Yung sometimes there's always pressure at work, no?
Yeah.
So, when it comes to virtual assistants, although quite similar pa rin siya sa stress sa office siguro, there are also different things na na pwedeng maging cause ng stress natin sa work online. How do you handle this? Especially that you're a pastor, you're a father of two, husband. How do you handle stress and pressure in a virtual environment?
I had to be practical because I'm the type of person who easily gets bored in a general sense. Like, sa umpisa, talagang excited ako because I'm learning new things. But after a month, after 2 months, when things become monotonous, everything's just the same, I start to, develop this boredom that normally leads into anxiety ba? Yung hindi mo alam bakit ka na problema, pero problemado ka. So it happens to me. It normally happens to me. Siguro lahi namin. Yung nagiging anxious ka for reasons you don't even know. So I am prone to that. Lalo pag monotonous na yung ginagawa ko. So, praktikalan talaga. We have to go somewhere. We have to, kung magkailangan namin mag-date ni Mrs., mag-date kami, alis kami, gala kami. I really have to go out and just be able to see different things, experience different things, or talk to someone else I can share with. So, that's how I had to be practical in order to handle stress. Because, it's there. You can't go away with it. You can't remove that. It happens to everyone. It's just that there are stressors na talagang unnecessary. And the fact na sa akin, isa sa mga challenge ko is my nature of being prone to manyana habit. Ay, nako. Isa yan sa mga challenge ko kasi I'm not really that particular with time. That's my personality pa na kailangan kong improve. So when I moved to corporate world, lalo na nag-umpisa akong call center for 6 months sa Davao, Alorica, kailangan ko talagang i-manage yung time ko. Nung nag-GI ako, kailangan ko rin i-manage yung time ko kasi napaka-bigat ng temptation eh. Yung office mo, andito lang, half meter, bed na. Yung ang hirap ibangon, yung ganon.
Nahihila yung higaan.
Oo, nahihila. Pero yun, handling stress, I had to be really practical and to really do something about it na not just yung parang bulahin ko lang yung sarili ko na no, huwag kang ma-stress kanyan, no. It doesn't work. Mas mag-overthink ako. So what I should do is to really do something physical. Go out, talk to someone, or be able to, unwind talaga. Not necessarily yung gumala na kailangan gumastos. Magmotor lang kaming 4. Magmotor lang kami niyan. It helps. It really helps. So, that's how I handle stress and pressure in my virtual work environment. And other than that, of course, as Christians, we always have this dependence on the Holy Spirit to actually help us. So whenever, kasi nag-juggle as a pastor, as a virtual assistant, it's really difficult for a worker like me na-stress ka sa work tapos magpi-preach ka
Yes.
during Sundays. So what I do about that is before Sundays, like Saturdays or days within the week, I really had to like also find a way to feed myself. Kaya ang naging savior ko talaga YouTube, nanonood ako ng mga preachings. I mean, that's really a huge thing for me na nafe-feed ko yung sarili ko from other pastors, other workers. I watch other live videos of priest pastors, nagre-review ako ng mga live nila sa Sunday worship, or I watch other churches, ECF, or Pastor Stanley. So that's really a big deal for me as a worker para, mabalance yung pressure. So yun po.
Yeah. Oo. We really have to be intentional, no? Kasi parang
Yes.
ang challenge sa working from home is hindi mo na halos na di-distinguish ang difference ng home and work.
Yes. Yun yung
Kasi
malaking temptation. Grabe.
nasa bed ka nagwo-work, wala ka namang office.
Oo.
Kaya parang, oo, yeah, I agree with you. And that it's good and learning from you talagang it's important that we are very intentional sa
Yeah, that's the word, Ma'am
pag-unwind.
Nili. You really have to be intentional.
Can you share with us, maybe give a little background on what
Mm.
you do, no? Ano mga tools at software yung ginagamit mo ngayon to support your role as a virtual assistant or as a data business manager?
For database management, particularly for real estate industry, since I started BA sa real estate na talaga. So if our viewers or some of our viewers are eyeing or are aiming or maybe are currently working as a real estate VA, of course, you will have an idea na. But we do make use of CRMs or customer relations management softwares. And there's a lot of it. There's tons of it. Like yung gamit na kong CRM with my previous client, 3 months kong inaral. Tapos nung paglipat ko sa new client, new CRM, 2 months ko ring inaral. So, ganun yung advantage ko lang sa second client ko is may idea na ako about CRM. For me, Tinils, you really have to be diligent in learning new things. Like, you have to embed in your system na kailangan kong matuto ng bago. And hindi ako pwedeng maging stagnant. Like say for example, natuto akong itong mga skills na to, itong software na to ngayon. Pero you always need to have this space in your system na meron dapat space for new learnings talaga. Every time, all the time. Kasi kapag hindi ka open to learning, talaga mapag-iiwanan ka. That's one thing I realized. Kasi parang tayo kasi, sa ibang work kasi, pag nakasanayan mo na yung task, ganyan na lang eh. Paulit-ulit na lang.
Pero,
piyong-piyungan na lang, tulog-tulugan na lang. Pero with in our virtual fields of virtual assistants, sa industry, sa nga ng industry, sa industry yan rather, you really have to be open to new learnings, new skills. You cannot say no. And I think that's also an advantage kasi that helps you improve your personality as well. It also improves your, aside from skills, of course, it also improves your exposure to these technology. So, kapag hindi ka talaga interesado sa technology, although I'm not saying I'm like a super techie guy, I'm not even into encoding and stuff. Pero you really have to like embrace technology and embrace technology as an evolving entity. So, kailangan mo ring mag-evolve as someone who works in that field. So, yan, para sa akin, be diligent in learning new things.
Oh, I really like what you said. Kasi ang sabi ng iba is virtual assistants daw is not for everyone. And we know one of the reasons is because of this. Kasi if you are not really interested in learning new things, if you're not interested in feeding yourself always with new things, talagang virtual assistants may not be for you. Marami kasi yung gusto ko matutunan ko na to and then that's it. May mga ganun eh. And that's one of the things that we see oftentimes sa office na ginagawa. So I really like what you said, and I really cannot stress on that kasi even successful virtual assistants, doon talaga sila, like they just keep on learning. Kaya kahit sa team ko, I always say, do not stay complacent.